Now about the reservoir. Won't the roots get suffocated in the reservoir? Well, there are a few things to discuss about that reservoir. First of all, no, they will not actually get suffocated. Why? Because there is quite a lot of dissolved oxygen in that reservoir. This is an assumption. I was actually researching the role of oxygen in plants and orchids and all of that. I'll make a totally separate video about it, but oxygen is actually really important for orchids, not only for gas exchange, but also for nutrient absorption. Too less oxygen or dissolved oxygen and we can have some issues. Now in the reservoir, I happen to believe that there is quite a lot of dissolved oxygen. Why? Well, first of all, the reservoir doesn't stay full all the time. It dries. Even if the leca is still damp, the reservoir is not full with water. Leca has a rough surface. It can trap bubbles of air. So whenever this reservoir empties and then we fill it with water again, the leca will trap water at its surface. That air or oxygen will then dissolve in water. That's one thing. Second thing, due to evaporative cooling, the whole pot tends to stay rather cool. Water with a lower temperature can hold more dissolved oxygen than water with a high temperature. Now, even in the summer, or maybe should I say specifically in the summer, this is a great thing. In the summer, evaporative cooling is at its maximum because it happens very fast. The faster water evaporates, the more the leca cools. Well, up to a point, meaning that the reservoir in summer will be quite oxygenated. This is what I believe, and I'm looking for a way to test it. I think in the aquarium shops I have a tester for oxygen. I might actually test it. I have a lot of things that I'm testing at the moment, and yeah, quite exciting, but all in due time. So in the reservoir, I do not believe there is a lack of oxygen. It's not like we're having still water. We also have the leca, which disrupts water tension, or actually surface tension, both on the sides, on the, let's say, drainage holes, and at the top, also with trapping the oxygen and maintaining the water cool, that favors oxygen. Now, the cooling effect might be detrimental as well in the winter time, and this is another reason why I didn't want to try, or actually it didn't work so well for me, the system in my older climate. So let us debate a little bit on that. My older climate could get minus 30 degrees Celsius during nighttime in the winter. And if that happened, and it was very prone to happen, my balcony was pretty exposed. My balcony didn't have heating of itself. I needed to heat it with the house, and also I had a portable heating device, but it consumed a lot of power and I couldn't really afford to maintain it all the time. So it wasn't such a good idea for me to maintain a reservoir of water, or actually damp pebbles, damp clay in my balcony. Not necessarily because of evaporative cooling, which would have been at a minimum actually in winter due to the high humidity and the low temperatures. But the water in the reservoir would have borrowed the temperature of the air. Even if I maintained the reservoir kind of empty all the time, the pebbles would have still been wet and would have taken the temperature of the outside environment. Pretty logical. They wouldn't have stayed warm. Well, sometimes if the weather got really nasty, the temperature in my balcony would have gone to 10 degrees Celsius for short periods of time, but it's enough to damage orchid roots. In this climate, that doesn't really happen. In this climate, rarely do we have, 0 degrees outside. And that's pretty much only when the wind blows. So in this climate, I am more protected. I also have a separate heating device in the greenhouse. In case emergencies, I can turn this on. And it does a much better job than my heater in my older balcony. But pretty much, even though the greenhouse is not super insulated, I have something down that is warm, I have something on a side that is warm, there are houses. The walls are not super cold. My greenhouse is not very cold in the winter time. Yes, it can go to 17, 18 degrees Celsius, which is, kind of cold, but not necessarily very cold. And I can get away, I believe, I can get away with semi-hydro by not maintaining the reservoir full, by maintaining the leca pebbles pretty moist. Humidity will be very high in the winter time for me here, and temperatures will not be all that low, but not all that high as well to promote evaporative cooling. So being that my experience last year was even worse, it was good, but I had clay pots and clay medium, so double the coldness. I got away with my orchids untouched. The only orchids that I just felt they weren't happy were the Phalaenopsis species, which I can totally get a heating mat for this year. Other than that, all the other orchids, absolutely no issue in the clay pots and the clay medium, and that's more things to maintain the coldness around the roots than the plastic pot and some leca beads, which don't retain as much water as Ceramis anyway, and I don't intend to maintain the reservoir super full in the winter either. So I think I can get away in winter due to my past experience, but there's only one way to find out, of course. I think I'll get away with it. So that's a little bit of plans for the future. Yes, I do intend to maintain the setup. I finally made it work for me, and it works really well for some orchids. Some orchids actually just took off. And I know I showed you this already, but I'm gonna show you again. Some orchids really do a lot better in this setup, like this Dendrobium here. I am using quite the not so tall pot, and there you go, you see, algae. I'm looking for a white pot that is wide and not so tall, but I cannot find it. I think I need to go to the kitchen section and get myself some plastic bowls. Anyway, many of my orchids are actually doing a little bit better in this setup. I'm not referring here to Cattleyas. Cattleyas are just, you know, Cattleyas. But things like this guy that needed an extra boost of moisture, they are really loving the setup, you guys. And he's not the only one. So things work pretty well. Reason why I didn't rush to repot my Cattleya orchids, because they're still doing great. But I did pot up some Cattleyas in the system as well, and they are doing great. Let me show you a case. This is a recent purchase, is the one from Ana Maria, and I think on this side we have more roots. Look at this. They're growing, they're doing great. You can see the algae formation here, it's getting out of hands because it's a Cattleya. It sits in a very bright location, and the Citrox could not maintain all of these algae at bay, so But the roots are doing great, even Cattleyas are doing okay in the system, yet again because of the quantity of air. So, okay, why did I want to really give the system another go and really think it through and try to forget kind of why I didn't want to use it at first in my old climate and make the difference? Actually put in the effort to make it work. Well, I have to tell you guys, I am a little tired of Ceramis. I'm a little tired of rinsing it, and I'm a little tired of spending so much money on it because I'm kind of out of Ceramis. Last year I ordered a lot of it. I don't even want to tell you how much it costed. And this year I was faced with a decision. Do I buy Ceramis again and pay so much, the transport from Germany to Cyprus, and then hassle with rinsing it so much? And I reached to the conclusion that, you know what, there must be a better way. So I still like Ceramis, but I like the big chunks. And the only way I can get my hands on the big chunk Ceramis is by ordering it from Germany at the moment, or the easiest way for me, right? The normal Ceramis that comes bagged is the small Ceramis. I don't want that one. I have orchids with big roots. I need them to have the air pockets. So it is inconvenient to get, and it is rather expensive. I would rather buy some more shells or something else, you know? I have what to spend my money on. I accept Ceramis. And I'm the type of person that can tolerate a lot from people and things in general. But with me, there's the system. When the glass gets full, oh, I don't want anything to do with that particular thing anymore, ever, and I'm dead serious, ever again. With Ceramis, I had it. You might remember ever since that little accident in the greenhouse when everything just fell and I was so incredibly physically tired, and like health issues kind of started because of that, and I decided, you know what, I deserve better. Anyway, so I had it. In that moment I had it with Ceramis. And P.S. in that moment I had it kind of with smoking as well. I quit on the 25th of July. I'm still a quitter, did not put any cigarette in my mouth. I do not even want a cigarette, so yay me, I'm done with that. So that's how strong my I am done is. I don't regret trying it. It was a good experience, and here and there I still use it, obviously, but I'm done purchasing it. I am done cleaning it. I am done with the whole drying out too much situation. I'm absolutely done. So I think I'm starting the semi-hydro journey. Now, given this is not a holy grail type of setup. I might still have issues in the winter time, of course, but I'll see how I can fix them. And also, it's not a setup for everybody, but it kind of ticks some boxes for me finally. And bottom line, having an easier life with orchids. Like really, you guys, who can go to the sink and water orchids anymore? Who can repot them every year or 2 or 3 years? I am really not that person, and I know many of you guys are not that person either. I know you have families and jobs and school and all of that, so that's the point, making things easier, needing less time for maintenance and more time to enjoy. And yeah, read up on stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching. I feel like this video is an hour long. I didn't mean it to be this long, but when I start to talk, I talk. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this. So yeah, stay tuned for more on this subject. Also a revamp of orchidnature.com. I'll let you know when things are done. I know there is a trouble with making accounts on orchidnature.com. The thing is that most probably Orchid Nature will lose the forum site, the whole community aspect of it. It will not be a community anymore. I decided I just want to take a step back from that and like focus on what I can actually handle. You might have noticed that I was not very active on Orchid Nature. I cannot handle forums and communities. I thought I could, I cannot, I'd rather not. So Orchid Nature will become more of an informational website to complement the YouTube and contain whatever is on YouTube as well. But it's not going to be a forum, Facebook type of updates and stuff like that. So no worries about the accounts. You're most probably not going to need accounts anymore, at least for now, at least for what we plan to do with it. So Orchid Nature will mainly be focused on information and care sheets and pictures and visual, mostly, not discussions. I think discussions are better sit with already established communities. I don't want to create another community, and you know, I'm just Miss Orchid Girl. I'm just a YouTuber, so I'm just gonna stick to that and do something that complements my status as a YouTuber rather than a forum member or something. Get what I'm saying? I don't know. Had some epiphanies. So thank you guys so much for watching and bearing with me. And you know the drill. If you somehow enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe to my channel for regular orchids and plants videos. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that said, I'll see you all next time. Bye!